I closely correlate self-care with self-love because when you are attentive in your care, you're showing forms of love for yourself because at one point you weren't, so if I'm telling someone you should stop eating all these certain cheeses and just stick to mozzarella because it's lower in fat, then I'm helping you save your life and also with you feeling better emotionally and physically.
Hey y'all, welcome to Our Self-Love Story, the audio diary podcast. I'm your host, Brandy Hess, and today we're taking another step to falling deeper in self-love. So today, I have another special guest, my good friend from high school, Lauryn. Lauryn is not only my friend from high school, but she is also a public health practitioner and a community organizer. Is that the word, community organizer?
Yeah, community health worker.
Oh yeah, community health worker. So Lauryn is all into like health, public health, and helping people, and supporting them to stay healthy and live a healthy lifestyle. I think that's dope. Lauryn, though, honestly, I've never said this, but I really think Lauryn is like dope for real.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Lauryn, so what you been up to lately? Like, let's do a little catch up.
Whew, catch up. I've been doing a lot mentally and physically with working. I'm under 2 projects. Hypertension.
At work?
Yep, at work. So a hypertension project. During COVID-19, a lot of Detroiters experienced high blood pressure due to social determinants of health and healthcare reasons such as already having heart disease or diabetes. So hypertension in Detroit increased. And so with the organization I work with, DABO, the Detroit Association of Black Organizations, and Michigan Department of Human Health Services, we've devised a program to try to decrease Detroit's hypertension. So that's one entity. Second entity is the COVID-19 project. So for those who have not gotten vaccinated, you get $50. So you might need $50, but no, $50 for every vaccine. So it's 4 now. So you potentially can get $200 eventually over the course of the month.
It's 4 vaccines? So it's the 2 and then a booster and then it's another booster?
Yeah.
Oh girl, I ain't been watching the news. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So I'm in that project, getting people in. We probably see, because of Detroiters and different areas that don't make enough money. You see a lot of people in the 48207 zip code who has an income of less than $30,000 a year. So we get a lot of people in different disparities who come in needing that $50. Sometimes I see over 50 people every other day, depending on the situation. So we're getting a job done.
Yeah, no, that's dope, especially because like I feel like health is like a little bit underrated. Maybe it's becoming like more of a thing, but I definitely feel like health in general is just underrated, especially like when it comes to just like how you eat and how that has like such a huge impact on your overall health. Like, I don't think, like, especially in school, like I was never taught that, but like over time I just kind of started thinking about it, like this stuff doesn't seem healthy. Like sometimes I don't know the answers to stuff, but I just get this feeling like this don't feel right. And like when it comes to like the way that I was eating, I never really ate bad, but just knowing just certain stuff just didn't seem healthy to eat. Like hot dogs. Like I still eat that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I did stop eating pork though. Like I would say like right around the time of COVID. I stopped eating pork. Like I had watched this 2 documentaries on Netflix, and I was like, oh no, I had just
What the hell?
Yeah, I had watched What the Health, and then there was another one about I can't remember the name of it, but it had talked about how in other countries they don't have cancer as much, and they had did the researcher had found that there was a connection between eating like red meat and cancer. Eating red meat and dairy, there's a correlation between the consumption of that and cancer. So in countries where they don't eat red meat, they don't eat dairy, they have like little to no cases of cancer, whereas here that's like those 2 things are staples in a lot of people's diet, and we have high rates of cancer here.
That's crazy, because I was just gonna bring that up, what you saying you don't eat pork like that, because you had told me when we went out to lunch. You had told me that, and you watched that documentary. And then it's crazy that you just mentioned that what did you just say? that the researcher found out that dairy consumption, it's a lineage between that and cancer. Because I was at the Salvation Army recruiting community members taking blood pressure, and my coworker told this older woman that he found out when he was getting his stomach cancer thing resolved that African Americans are not to even be consuming dairy.
Why? Like, why specifically African Americans?
Because he has an African doctor, and this is just what he told me verbally. He didn't go in detail, but because it's not good for our stomachs and for us to be digesting our intestines. And that's all he told me. I didn't dive deeper into it, but just listening, I'm like, dang.
Yeah, I believe it, because when I eat dairy, my stomach be toe up. I be
lactose.
So I just try not to eat it, but yeah, I think that like what you're doing is definitely like something that's well needed. That's dope that you're doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and like health is like a form of self-love. Like being conscious of the way that you eat is definitely a form of self-love.
And it's crazy that you mentioned that, because like your gut health has something to do with your mental health.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, it's true. Like, so if you sit down and notice it, you'll be like, oh man, like I get like, for me personally, if I eat pizza before bed, I try to eat before 7, but let's just say I eat at 8:30 or 9 or whatever. Eat slices of bread or pasta, I'm going to feel weighted down. Not just due to the bread, but because of the pasta, the red sauce, and then that causes heartburn. And then with that, you know, who wants to feel down, like heavy? And so with that, then emotionally, I feel down. I get anxiety because I know, I'm about to be up till 11 because I ate this pizza at 8:30. And then because of the decision of me eating late when I knew I was supposed to, then it's like I get some forms of light depression because I know I wasn't supposed to do that. And then you internalize what happened through the day. Like, say for instance, you didn't have such a productive day at work or in school, or the thought of having schoolwork due, which I have that constant thought. It's all these different factors that can go on in your life, and with you eating bad food, it can just hold you down.
Yeah.
So,
So with you being like so active in the community, like, and I know you're helping people with, you know, their health and everything like that, but you deal with like a lot of people, or you come across a lot of people, and so with that, do y'all ever get into conversations about like things related to self-love, or like are you kind of do you feel like you're helping people or being a part of people's in the community, like their self-love journeys?
Yeah, you know, I closely correlate self-care with self-love, because when you are attentive in your care, you're showing forms of love for yourself, because at one point you weren't, you know. So if I'm telling someone you should stop eating all these certain cheeses and just stick to mozzarella because it's lower in fat, then I'm helping you save your life, and also with you feeling better emotionally and physically. You know, in this conversations we talk about work, and I help people, you know, get clothes and get food. You know, people come in just thinking they're going to get high blood pressure and be enrolled in a program, but no, you get more than that. And so when I'm giving you opportunities to lower your internet or to get you free clothes, or I'm just enlightening you on my journey, like me just talking to older women or people my age, I'm inspiring them. It's just a conversation, and that could start a self-care journey. They can leave there. I mean, I've had women leave there like, I'm gonna tell my niece, or you just help me understand my daughter more. You just help me with my life, you know. So yeah, I most definitely do that.
Yeah, that's dope. And for some people, you never know, like you might be kind of helping them start on a journey, you know, with them coming to, obviously if they're coming to you and they're trying to, you know, better their health, maybe they are at a point where they are trying to, you know, better themselves, or, you know, care for themselves more. And so when y'all interact, you know, your interaction might be like, you know, the first step for them, or even just like trigger a thought like, hey, maybe this can become more than just a one-time thing. Maybe this can become a lifestyle. Maybe other areas outside of my health that I could start to, you know, pay more attention to, and, you know, kind of make that better, you know, in their lives too.
Yeah, and it could be also meditative. You just made me think of, so in this line of work, you know, I tend to just listen. You know, I don't even nod my head or show expressions. I just want to, you know, let the community member know that I'm listening to them, because a lot of times no one is listening to them. So I had this one particular woman who had a high blood pressure, and so she disclosed to me that her husband might have to amputate his second leg due to COVID-19 complications and his diagnosis of diabetes. And so her just, talk to me about her journey and what she's going through that particular day and what the future may entail. She left that conversation like a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. No, her situation did not change. She still had to leave that table and, face what was going to happen. But her just speaking with me and me able to be open really made her feel good.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you have that opportunity, especially with a stranger, and it's not even something that you can see, that's a form of self-care.
Yeah, sometimes people just need to get it out. Like even with this podcast, like sometimes I just need to get it out, you know, like nobody even have to listen, but just me like speaking my mind is like, that's all you need.
Speaking your truth.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of kind of like starting self-love journeys, are you on a self-love journey right now?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yes. We love to hear it. Yeah. So how long have you been on a self-love journey?
I say for, when did that happen? I'm gonna say 2020.
2020. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I apologize, 2021. Before that, I thought I knew what self-care was, self-love, but I wasn't doing it the right way. But 2021 specifically, I want to say March, I'm beginning my journey.
Okay, so like a year at this point. Okay, that's what's up. So wait, why do you feel like you was doing it wrong before? Like what was you doing?
Good question. Wrong mindset. Being not, aware, being stubborn in my ways, not really aware of my surroundings, not aware of my attitude, not aware of my impact. I know age, some people say age doesn't have anything to do with it, but a lot of it has to do with my age and things like that. Factors that I wasn't internalizing until I had surgery in end of February 2021 when I was forced to sit down.
You had surgery?
Yeah.
Oh, what you had surgery?
I think I remember this. I had a cyst that needed removal.
Oh, yeah.
And it forced me to sit down for some time, I think like 2 months or a month and a half. Like, I'm to the point, like, parents had to wash me up, or if I needed clothes on, they'll help me, like, you just lay down. And so, being in that predicament, I had a lot of time to think. In a lot of ways I didn't like about myself before, a lot of things I wanted to change. And I wanted to leave out that situation change. Yeah. And so, going back, because I had sticky notes saying, I'm grateful to wake up in this bed, I'm grateful to have my friend, and things like that. I'll go back and read these sticky notes, and then think about my mentality in 2019 and 2020 and notice a shift. Like, I'm way more calm, I'm less reactive, I'm way more open, and things like that.
Okay, that's dope. Yeah, that's interesting that you say that, like, when you was kind of like in this time of like isolation, that's when you like really started your journey. And I feel like that was the same for me. Like, I don't know, I'm kind of like a loner, so I'm like in isolation a lot. But I do think that like when you have that time to yourself, that's when, at least to me, like that's when you do the best thinking. I don't know, I like thinking and I like being like introspective, so like being alone doesn't bother me. Sometimes I kind of like overdo it though, and I just be like in isolation like too much. But I do think that like when you're in isolation, that's kind of like when you get when you just, I don't know, it's just the best time to think.
It is. And as the only child, I really like that only time. Like, it's just me, I get to think. And like you just said, I tend to overthink, but that may be tied in with my personality. But just being alone and having time to dissect. And I'm vulnerable enough to dissect. Like, okay, Lauren, you wasn't supposed to be like that. Okay, Lauren, you better than that. So when I know I can take accountability and be to myself, I feel like every day I'm becoming a better person in doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's worth it.
So after the surgery, what did you do differently in your self-love journey? You know, from before you said like you wasn't doing it right, and then once you really started last March, like what was that new like start for you?
I read, and he just passed a couple years ago, and I'm going to say his name wrong, but TikTok Han.
TikTok, huh?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's actually longer, but he's a Buddhist.
Okay.
He was a Buddhist for Martin Luther King Jr. And he's popular. You all can YouTube him. But
Yeah.
I started listening to his audiobooks
Okay.
and practicing exercises on my anger.
Okay.
Because at the time I was not happy with myself.
You never strike me as an angry person. Like I'm kind of surprised to hear you say
Yeah,
that.
but well, I was in a relationship at the time,
Oh,
so I was angry at that aspect of the relationship. I was angry at myself regarding the relationship. So I was angry at myself for letting things slide or not letting things happen and things like that. So that anger came from the relationship and things going on with myself, insecurities regarding the relationship, and then I don't know if you all have ever done this on you, Brandy, but when you start to think of insecurities about the relationship, then you start asking yourself, well, was it me?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I dived into that hole for a long time and never attended to it in 2019 and 2020. So those insecurities made me ugly inside.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to say, because Lauryn the most goofy, smiliest person I ever met. So I was kind of, I was surprised that you said that. But being that it was from a relationship, I can kind of see that. Because sometimes, like, relationships can be like take a lot.
Yeah, so it is a lot.
Yeah.
It is. I realize it. If it's a word for a lot, it is that word.
Yeah.
But listening to his audiobooks, it was even a thing, and I try to do it now and I forget. He stated, chew your food 50 times before swallowing it. Yeah, and he stated, whatever you're eating, internalize that. Like if it's salad, be like, I'm thankful for this lettuce. I'm thankful for the rain that grew this lettuce.
Okay.
Like, so when I was eating back then, I would try to chew for 50 times.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I be hungry.
Yeah, I would try. And the thing is, I noticed when I sat down and actually internalized, thank you, I'm thankful for this meal. I'm thankful for the food that's on this plate, the vegetables that's on this plate. I walked away from the table like not only not eating the whole plate, because when you chew something for a long time, your stomach gets full quicker. So not only was I getting full quicker, but I left the table like even more grateful than the prayer I just, said before eating.
Right.
So different things like that, being more in the moment, and not thinking, because a lot of things like back then I would do, I gotta do this, so this is for my future, and, not being in the moment and criticizing myself a lot. Being down, seeing other people up, or me assuming they're up, but it'd be a different story.
Right.
And me internalizing that.
Or just like comparing yourself.
Yeah, and a lot of that was going on. So just being in the moment, being thankful, like, hey, Lauren, you did graduate, you did this, so, those things. So eating, so chewing 50 times, and then reading were two of the things that I heavily relied on.
Yeah, I like that you said that, like, when you started your journey, you were just being thankful and reading. And, like, sometimes I think that self-love seems like it's, like, something that has to be so grand. Or, like, something that has to be so, like, extra. But something as simple as reading a book that is inspirational and being grateful are forms of self-love that you can do, like, for free, that you can do all the time, all day, every day.
Exactly.
Like, it's nothing that, like, of course, self-love, you can obviously go to the spa, you can do stuff like that. You can buy yourself extravagant gifts, because those are also forms of self-love. But just the simple things are also forms of self-love, and I feel like it has a great impact. Yeah, because sometimes, or even, like, not comparing yourself, like you said, and being, like, happy for, like, the position that you're in. Because, like, I was just thinking the other day, like I'm in this job and I want another job, but I'm like, I had to catch myself because I was like going through my emails and seeing like the email that like when I actually got the job, and just remembering like how happy I was when I got the job.
I remember that news.
Yeah, so it's like at the time, like before you was in the position that you're in now, you wanted to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
And like even if it's like at the current moment, like not exactly going the way that you wanted to, or how it was planned, or how you thought it should go.
Yeah.
Like you got to this point, you know, like you wanted to be here, you got here. And so just being like thankful for being able to get, you know, to reach a certain level and do certain things that you wanted to do.
Exactly.
Now as time goes, you know, what you want may change, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you are in a position where you wanted to be at one point in time.
Exactly.
So just like remembering that, and I have to catch myself.
Yeah.
Like at one point in time, I wanted to graduate college. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, I wanted to have a job. I wanted to have a car. Like I didn't have a car for a long time. Like when my friends had cars, like I was in high school and college, I didn't have a car, and a lot of other people had cars, and I wanted a car. And it's like now I didn't had a car for like a year now. And it's like, I don't even think about it. But at one point in time, I used to dream about having a car. And just like, I have to remind myself of that. Like, you wanted this car for the longest. Now that you got it, like, don't forget that feeling that you had before you had the car. And don't forget, like, how major this was for you at one point in time, you know?
Yeah. That's why, I feel like a lot of that has to do with society and what we see and the norms that they embedded in social media and in our surroundings and, you know, in the literature we see. It's always the next big thing. It's always the future. It's always be the top this, be the top that. I mean, I've been seeing ever since COVID-19, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just how you market it. But entrepreneurship, like, you want to wake up on 9 to 5. Like, some people, I mean, that's their thing, you know. So I say that to say I just, like, unplug myself. And I've been like that since junior year of college. Junior year of college, I did it for a different reason because I just got tired of seeing people boast who probably didn't really have it like that. But
stop the cap is what Lauryn is saying.
But yeah, I unplug myself off and like it's just, I mean, I'm at a point where I'm tired of social media in regards to things that's not really benefiting me or helping me. So I unplug myself a lot, and when I do that, I become centered. Like I become more, you know, intertwined with, okay, Lauren, this your goal, this your passion. I feel that love again. I feel that attention to myself again when I unplug myself that I lost just scrolling through social media.
Yeah, I got. Oh, excuse me. We're gonna cut that.
Now you funny. Oh, you too. You hear a bird.
That was nasty. But yeah, I got social media bad. Like, I be on Instagram. Like, I think Instagram is good in some cases because for me, like, it gives me like a lot of ideas. Like I like dressing up. I like interior design. I like hair and nails and stuff like that. And like, there's a lot of other creatives on social media. You can get inspired from them. Yeah. That's really why I like it.
Yeah, I use that for my burner account.
Oh, okay. but some stuff is like I don't follow the Shade Room. Like I don't. Sometimes I do go on there because I just want to see what the tea is. But I try not to follow like accounts like that where it's like gossipy or like negative. But in addition to that, I'm trying to get to a place where I'm like not only like disconnected on social media or like I don't want to disconnect from social media, but I do spend like way too much time on social media. Like I could be more productive, but I'm sitting here on my phone rolling through social media doing nothing. So I do want to get away from that, but I more so want to get into like surrounding myself with people that I feel like are like what they say like high frequencies. Like I want to be around people like that. I want to be around people that are like interested in things that I'm interested in and who like inspire me and like be grinding and working like because it's gonna make me get off my phone and get off my ass and just quit sitting around doing nothing where it's like things that I want to do. But I just feel like being around people like that will, you know, ultimately help me, you know, just to be more a doer instead of like a dreamer, you know. Yeah, I like that. Oh, a doer, not a dreamer.
But you said something, and I really had to internalize this. You said, laying around doing nothing. And like, for my self-care, I had to realize, like, Lauryn, you done did all, like, you done submitted 2 papers, two proposals. You done your hypertension project. You gonna sit down here and do nothing. Right. Sometimes doing nothing is doing something.
Yeah, that's true.
The thing of doing nothing, what that does for your mental health and for your emotional health is major. Like one day, just think about how you're mentally feeling and emotionally feeling when you're moving fast, doing quote unquote work, and then compare that to a day when you just relaxing, quote unquote, doing nothing, and think like, hold on, like when I was doing nothing, I thought like, hey, I could take a bath and have a glass of wine, and sit down and think about, okay, Lauren, how can I be in the moment tomorrow? Okay, Brandy, how can I be productive tomorrow? Things like that. So doing nothing, quote unquote, I feel like that's one of my best things in my self-care journey.
Yeah, just to like relax and just unwind. Yeah, that is true, because I feel like, I don't know if it's like an American thing or something, but I feel like we just always want to work, always trying to make money, always trying to do this and do that. And it's like my friend, she's from Africa, and she said like here, she said like here everything is about money, money, money. And she said like, well, where's she from, and like in like Caribbean countries, like they just like enjoy life, like they not so like stressed out about money and work and all of that. And so maybe that's a part of like us just being like a part of this culture where it's like like a part of this culture where money is everything. And I try to get away from that sometimes. Like, I mean, obviously, like, I've lived here forever, so it's, like, something that is a part of, like, my psyche. But I do try to get away from that, where it's, like, money is not everything. Like, I don't have to be, like, I could do, like, when I first started this podcast, I wanted to do it just to do it. And then I started talking to people, like, you can make money from this, you can make money from it. And then I started looking to it, like, yeah, I can make money from it. And then, like, I was, like, on a path where I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure out how I can make money from it. But then I started thinking like, yeah, I can make money from it, but at the foundation when I originally wanted to do it, I just wanted to do it. And if the money comes, then it comes, and I'll be happy. But everything that you do doesn't have to be a grind. Everything don't have to be a hustle. Everything don't got to be like my next money move. But that's also kind of challenging though, because sometimes like I hear people also say like you got to grind when you're young, because when you're young, so that you grind when you're young, so that when you're old, you can chill. So it's like, kind of like, well, which one? Like, I don't know. I guess I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, should I grind now, or should I relax? Or, so I can relax later? I don't know.
I mean, it got some truth to it, because, like, we live in a capitalist society, so you can try to get away from it as much as you want, or try to lessen, your thoughts on it, but it's embedded in our system. I mean, you go looking for housing, whether that's an apartment or a condo or a house. You got to think about that. You got to think about your money. You got to think about, okay, who, if you're in a relationship, okay, can I trust my counterpart to hold their weight? When you get married, because marriage is a big thing in our society. Okay, how we gonna split the bills? Whose name is gonna go in different businesses? So it's like, at some point you gotta think about it, and it's like in our psyche, it's in our society. And so regarding, grind now, relax later, that's the thing, because I want to relax later. Like,
yeah, me too.
I
ain't trying to be 60 going to work. I'm not, like, I be seeing people at work and they
stressed out.
Some people like to work.
Yeah.
Some people gotta work. And I ain't trying to be like I gotta work. Like,
I've been in the workforce. Activity.
Yeah, I've been in the workforce for a year, and I'm about ready to retire. So.
Yeah, with me, like, I remember me and my mom used to go back and forth, because I used to be like, Mom, like, I want to go out, and I stay in Detroit, so, and I stay at home, so being out at certain times is not okay. They're gonna be worried, and then, depending on the place I go to, it's not necessarily the safest, so I always gotta think about these factors, and then who I'm with and all this stuff, and it's like, because of that, and because of my environment, I can't go out that often. I used to just be so, like, stuck on that and so irritated. I'm like, I'm 24, I'm 23, I should be doing this. I'm over here grinding, trying to get into school. I'm over here grinding, trying to get a job, and I still ain't where I'm supposed to be. And it's just like, I finally realized, like, within the past, like, 2 months, like, I'm grinding now so I can relax later. Like, I ain't going out now and all this stuff because I want to, sit back and be like at 30, like I did my work, you know what I'm saying? But it hit me because like I like, not to even put a chip on my shoulder, but I grind hard.
Lauryn do for sure.
I be up through the night finding like different opportunities for myself, and you know, I was just so stuck, like, my future, my future, my future. Then my kid, really it's my kids, and it's crazy, I don't have kids, but I think about that. I want my kids to be straight. Like, straight, like, whatever they need, they gonna get it, because I'm spoiled. But, like...
Yeah, I kind of think of a similar thing. I don't think about my future kids.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of crazy.
No, I get it. I kind of think just like, I don't want to struggle.
Yeah.
That's what I think about. But it's like the same thing.
Yeah. And so, I just realized, because I remember I just got into it, not in a bad way, but a back and forth with my mom. My cousin had a birthday party, it was late, not even in the going, I was stuck on it. And I realized at that moment, that was like February 15th. So I'm like, man, I'm grinding now just to, when I get up in my 30s, to just be set, you know. And I feel like I was stuck on myself, you know, because people would hear me, like what we talked about earlier, like not being caught up in the future and being caught up in the now. Oh, yeah. That's the thing I always have to remember, because people would DM me or text me like, dang, like, you grinding. Like, hey, Lauryn, how you feeling about this? Like, hey, Lauryn, keep doing da-da-da-da. And I'll be moving fast like, yeah, girl, yeah, boy, thank you, yeah, I'm trying to do this. And so, I say that to say, like, I wasn't even being in the moment then. I was trying to be on the next come up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, like, basically, like, I had to internalize, like, Lauryn, you grinding now, like, you got now your future already gonna be set. You know, don't be so stuck on it. Like, party's gonna be there. You gonna be older, but party's gonna be there. And to be honest, it's not necessarily I like to party. Just like I like to socialize from time to time. I like to go to bars. I don't like to go to clubs. You know what I'm saying? And so that's still gonna be there in the future. And I'm gonna be way more up. So it's like, let's just stick it out. Yeah. I ain't missing nothing.
Right. Yeah, I kind of struggle with that too, feeling like I'm young and I need to be hanging out every weekend, going to the club.
Like, you see Jada and dance?
Yeah.
Like, they bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to live like them. Yeah. But if I'm true to myself though, I don't like going out. Like, I mean, I do. But I'm not into getting drunk every weekend. I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke hookah. Like, I'm not really into all that. Like, I like to do it here and there, but for me to do like every single night, every single weekend, that's just really not me, you know? Yeah. So.
Yeah, we on the same page.
Yeah, we on the same page. We on the same page.
But like, I mean, like, and I guess that's a social media thing, but seeing them looking so bad, like dressed up to the T, like who don't want to just dress up knowing they got money in their account and go to brunch or dinner and just be set, go shopping when the store closed, you know, like. Yeah, that's true. Doing good.
Yeah, I love Jada. I love how she dresses. Yeah. Like, she my favorite, like, Instagram influencer.
And she our age, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Alright, so we talked about a lot. I feel like we having a good talk so far.
Yeah, this is great. I'm nervous, y'all.
I don't know why people be so nervous. Like, it's just me and you talking, you know.
On the camera.
Yeah. But nah, like, we just being true to ourselves, you know. So you've been on a self-love journey for the past year. So, like, what growth have you seen in yourself? I know you said that you're, like, less reactive, less angry. Like, is there anything else that kind of has changed about you over this past year?
Well, yeah. 3 weeks ago, I got baptized.
Okay.
First time. That was a big deal. My mom actually brought it up to me while I was recovering from surgery. Because I was supposed to get baptized the first Sunday of 2021, but I didn't because I wasn't recovered yet. And so fast forward, I'm like, yeah, I'm about to do it. I'm about to get baptized. And when I was nervous at first, and I'm like, nah, Lord, you got to put your, like, this is what baptism is, putting your trust in the Lord and the higher power. And when I did that, when the pastor, you know, grabbed me and pushed me into the water, I felt like all of my concerns, all of my unnecessary weight was lifted. And I still feel like that, you know. So that was my most recent experience that has helped me and continue to help me. I see changes in myself every day because of that experience. What else do I do?
Amen.
Well, for the past, the past year, maybe 2 years, I'll say, I get on my knees every morning and pray.
That's what's
like the old school way. Like, as soon as I wake up, like, I first drink my 6 ounces of water because that's what's good to your immune system back going after 8 hours of sleep or whatever. And I get on my knees and just pray. You know, whether it may be short for the day, and for the morning it may be long, but yeah, I do that. I make sure to do that. Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, I need to work on that, like being disciplined and having like a daily routine. Cause I don't have a daily routine, but that's something that I've been that I have been thinking about. So I feel like like you said, like drinking water in the morning. That's something that I've been like wanna incorporate. And then like reading, I feel like I want to get more into reading. And yeah, those are my two things.
Yeah, and that's one thing I have to pick up. That's why, you know, it's a constant journey. You know, and it's a constant journey now, not because it's the word journey itself, but like as a human, you're changing every day, whether you notice it or not. So it's a journey that we're gonna constantly be on. It's not something that we get to a certain point. Like I didn't say when I got baptized and when I noticed I was more calm and less reactive. Oh, I'm doing my self-love, self-control. No, I just kept going and going and going. So I say that to say, I purchased books prior to New Year's 2022 to, you know, read every month of 2022. Like I was supposed to read and finish one book in January, one book in February.
Girl, I had that same plan. I'm about to say I had that same plan too, and I haven't read nothing.
Yeah, it's just sitting there. So it's just a constant journey. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
That's why it's a journey, like I just said, because one day I'm gonna pick up that book.
Right.
One day I'm gonna do it.
So
wait, I don't know.
What books have you like are on your to-do list?
I can't remember the titles.
Oh, okay.
But it's based on self-care.
Okay.
Yeah, self-love.
Yeah.
Like that.
One book that I'm reading, I actually learned about it from another podcast. It's called the Jay Shetty podcast.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I love that podcast. And so, Big Sean was on his show. That's like my favorite episode of the show. And he said that he read a book called Ask and It Is Given. And he said that book changed his life. So that was my January 2022 book, but it's now April. And I haven't yet finished it, but that's the book that I'm definitely going to read at some point this year.
We gonna read
them. I'm
excited
to
read
them.
know. We gonna read them.
Yeah, I read like, I'm on like chapter 7, but I haven't read it like in a minute. But from what I did read, it was pretty good so far.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna read it too.
Yeah.
I'm when I go home, I'll see a picture of the books I got.
Okay, yeah, do that for sure. Okay, so for people who are like, well, let me just say, for me, I feel like I've been on a self-love journey. I feel like I kind of started a self-love journey like in high school, but I didn't realize it. So like I started off with like trying to grow my natural hair out and just like embracing my natural hair. I always liked my natural hair. Like I never was like a person who was like, oh, I don't like my natural hair. It wasn't like that, but just being like more conscious of like having my natural hair out and making sure that it's healthy and taking care of it. So like I started that in high school, but I didn't like think of that as like self-love. But now that I think about it, I feel like that is a form of like self-love. And I feel like I started again like let me see, like how long do I feel like I've been on a self-love journey? I feel like honestly when I started, well, like I said, I've always been an introspective person. So I have always been like thinking about like trying to learn stuff about myself. But I feel like I started to put action to it like when I started this podcast. And like really just like, yeah, like being aware of self-love. And for me, like self-love is starting with me just expressing myself, like what I'm doing now on this show. And then like the next step for me is going to be like actually doing the actions of self-love. And so that's like the next hurdle for me. Because it's like whenever you try something new, at least for me, it's like kind of scary. You get nervous. And I'm kind of like a runner. Like if something makes me nervous, I kind of push it off or I run from it for a while. And then after a while, I just be like, okay, I'm tired of running. And then I just really do it. So right now, I'm kind of like running, but I'm slowing down. So I'm like
jogging.
Yeah, I'm jogging. At first, I was like sprinting, but now I'm kind of like jogging. I'm like, all right, like I really need to do this. So that's like the next part of my journey for me. So I would say I've been doing it for like a few months now, since like August of 2021.
Okay, yeah.
So
probably a year soon.
Yeah. So that's exciting.
Yeah, that's cool.
So for people who are like interested in starting a self-love journey, like what would you say are like the self-love 101s, like how to start a self-love journey, what self-love looks like, what do you say? Well, okay, let's just start here. Like, so for people who are like wanting to start a self-love journey, but they're like, I don't really know how. What would you say is like a good way to like start your self-love journey?
Sitting down and sitting down, number one, but being willing to assess yourself and find things that you don't like about yourself or favor about yourself, and to take a look at the challenges that that you ignored or that you dismissed, like, oh, I'm not like that, oh, I'm not like that. Because I realized when I sat down and it turned out like, okay, Lauren, these people, they saying this for a reason at this point. Because on social media, they say, if a person don't like you or saying this, that's just because they hate. So I turn my back.
You ain't got no haters, you ain't
Yeah, no, but for real, it's like, okay, like, sometimes you got to sit back and like, okay, Lauren.
Some people do be haters.
Yeah, some people do be haters, but at the end of the day, sometimes you got to look at yourself too. Don't be the one that always point your finger. And it got to a point that I was always doing that. And so I sat back like, hold on, Lord, I don't like that about you. Or, Lord, you notice, have you been like that? And when I sat back, I was like, whoa. I have been, dismissive. I have been sometimes not a good friend. I have been, mean, to my partner at the time. I have been all these different things, and you have to. Starting your self-care journey, you have to be open to sitting down and realizing that it's going to be some things you don't like, and you're not the good person in all of this. You know what I'm saying? And once you sit down and internalize that and think of a way to change, then that's you right there doing that and sitting down and thinking to yourself, you're starting your self-care, self-love journey then, because you're taking accountability. And that's a lot of, like, I had to take accountability of my actions and my feelings and how I was being towards myself and being towards others, and what I was putting into, the universe. Like, yeah, I was happy on the outside and doing these things, but I was deflecting a lot. I was using beauty treatments, like I said at the beginning, like as self-care. When it's inside, I was like tore up due to insecurities and anger built from insecurities. So when you sit down and think like, you accept that you went through all this and that you are that type of person that you want to change, that's your self-care journey starting right there and there.
Yeah, I was going to say a similar thing, like just being real with yourself.
Basically.
I feel like another big thing is being real with your emotions and not like suppressing them, like feeling your emotions fully. And like I talked about this in another episode, like sometimes I feel like you gotta let yourself be a hot mess in order for you to progress, because sometimes, like with myself, and sometimes I notice this in other people, that they or that we can sometimes try to hide our emotions so much, or try to overlook them, or try to act like they don't exist. And that doesn't allow you to like really face the reality and really like heal from it and overcome, whatever that situation is.
That's real.
And so yeah, I think you just need to, if you are a hot mess, just let yourself be a hot mess. Now don't be a hot mess forever. Don't do that forever, But let yourself
embrace it in that
mess.
moment and do what you need to do to change it. Yeah. It's crazy that you say that, because during also my surgery stint, I had a therapist through Talkspace, and that's like virtual telehealth, quote unquote. And I used to be so stuck up on. And basically, I was divulging to her, she was a lady, about my journey and things I was going through, but also things about my relationship. And she told me basically Lauren, you have a right to have these feelings. Don't be so hung up on yourself about how you feel, because you have a right to feel angry. You have a right to feel hurt. You have a right to feel all these raging emotions at the moment, because it hurts you. And it hurts your inner self, your inner child. It hurt something deep inside it. You have a right to express that. Now what you would do, when you get these angry feelings, is up to you. But you have a right to feel all these emotions. And You know, at one point in my life, and I still struggle with it because I guess I'm the only child and I feel a lot of emotions that like I'll you know get so hung up on being sad or being upset or being angry, and I'll say, no, you're not supposed to be that way, or Lord, get out of it. And like, no, I have a right to, you know, it's what I do when I feel those emotions and how I act. And before I started my self-care journey, when I was angry, I would not act in the right way. I would be reactive. You know, but now when I'm angry, I accept it like, yeah, well, you got a right to be angry. Now, whether that's the right reason, we're going to break that down when you're more calm.
Right.
But fill it out right now. Go back to that when you're calm and assess, okay, Lauren, yes, you were angry, but you didn't think about it this way or think about it that way. And then when I realize when I go back to a situation when I'm more calm, I was like, okay, Lauren, like, okay, so we're with.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next day. And then I know how to then I know how to execute the next situation that's similar to that situation that made me upset. And I'm just bettering myself daily by doing that.
Yeah. So you used to like kind of beat yourself up for getting mad?
I'm feeling sad or not being in the moment. Like it happened to me this past week. This past week, my coworker, because I'm the youngest one. The rest of my coworkers are like in their 60s because they want to recruit people that's in the church. So one of my coworkers is like 65, and I call him Pops. And this particular day, I wasn't as goofy or talkative. I was just zoned in on data and my work and things like that. And he was like, he called me Shorty. He like, Shorty, you mean I'm in and that? And I'm like, what? Like, I'm just chilling doing my job. But, you know, I had to sit back and think like, okay, I've been this certain way and I've given off this aura. You know, I'm naturally goofy, I'm naturally smile, I'm naturally helping people out. But today I'm like, I'm in my grind. And I was internalizing that as, oh, I have to be this way for this person, but I don't.
What, you mean like you have to be goofy?
Yeah, like I gotta conform, like I gotta make everybody happy, and I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I can't make everybody happy. And I was about to get like really sad about that. And I'm like, damn, like I didn't, you know, I don't know how he took it. I hope I didn't mess up his day. But it's like, I was doing, you know, what Lauryn needed to do and being a good person. I wasn't being disrespectful or none of that. So don't internalize that Lauryn as, oh, I can't make everybody happy. I messed up. No, you're fine. Don't beat yourself up about that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, just it's a daily thing. You know, you gon' constantly, you know, run to people that don't like what you wearing, don't like what you said, don't like how you said a certain thing, how you smile. It's gonna be somebody that's just got a problem with you. But don't beat yourself about that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always you can't make everybody happy. Right. You just have to have good intentions.
Yeah.
And what did I have intentions going into? What kind of intentions did I have going into my work facility? All right, I'm gonna help these people. I'm gonna get them COVID vaccinations. I'm gonna get more people screened.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. I tell myself like, Brandy, everybody might not like you, but you don't like everybody either. Yeah. So just like you don't like everybody don't have to like you. It just is what it is. Like, it can be awkward. Like ideally, you want everybody to like you, but you don't like everybody. So everybody
especially in the workforce, you know.
Yeah. We ain't gonna talk about that. But no, yeah, that's good. I think another thing that that I do, like as far as self-love, that I think is like helpful for anybody that's trying to start a self-love journey, is to start to pay attention to the things to the times when you feel at peace, or the times that you feel most happy, or the things that kind of excite you, or the things that you think about, you like, oh, I want to do that, I always wanted to do that. Because what I realized, like, I used to think that like everything that I wanted to do, everybody else wanted to do too. Like it was nothing extra special because everybody would find this fun, or everybody would enjoy doing this. But I kind of realized like everybody, you know, like I like traveling, I like skating, I want to learn how to speak French, I want to learn how to like make clothes, interior design. These are things that I just assume that everybody will find interesting, but that's not the case. So it's specifically me that I like these things, and so this is something that's unique to me, and something that if I like pursue or that I partake in, that is gonna bring me personally some type of peace or some type of happiness. And so for you, I feel like, or for people in general, like if you want to start a self-love journey, I just feel like pay attention to who and what brings you peace and happiness, and like spend time doing those things with those people. And actually, like, if you don't know, then figure it out. Because I kind of realized this when I used to do, like, before I had a job, and I would have a job interview, and they'd be like, tell me about yourself. And I used to be like,
yeah, like,
I don't know. I don't
still
know.
struggle with that.
Yeah, so it's like, after being asked that question so many times, I'll be like, Brandy, you don't know yourself? Like, you don't know, people asking you to tell them about yourself, and you don't have nothing to say.
Freeze up.
Yeah, so like once I started realizing that, I'm like, okay, like I need to kind of figure out me and what I like to do, and you know who I like to be around, and I think that is like that will bring you to self-love, because you're gonna be doing what you like to do, and I feel like a big part of self-love is like your passions and like being true to what you love to do. And yeah, if you just take an inventory, like a mental note, like, okay, when I was around this person, I was so happy. Or like, I felt so at peace, or I felt so calm. Or when I was doing this, it excited me so much that I lost track of time, or I want to do it every day. Like, I feel like those are things, like, pay attention to that and like do those things and see where it goes. Like, you know, maybe you experiment. Experiment. Like, maybe you like it a little bit. But you ain't gonna be your favorite thing in the world. But it's something that you do enjoy doing, and it's other things that you know you might find that you like.
And you took time to do it for yourself. Yeah, which is a hurdle in itself, because I had a former friend at the time. It was like 2018, and she told me, Lauryn, you just need to be. And I don't know why she said it. I haven't had a lot of partners. Like, I only had one partner to be
She gonna call you a
No, but what I'm about to say made me think about it. She's like, Lauryn, you just need to take time for yourself. You don't need anyone. Try going out to lunch or dinner by yourself. And I remember what she said. And it's still like, you know, sticks in my head, because like I'm the only child, and I always felt awkward eating by myself. I only didn't feel awkward eating by myself was in the cafeteria during college. But other than that, like, I never was the type to just go to Benihana or go to Red Robin or whatever and just sit down and eat by myself, because I was always like sensitive to my surroundings and thinking people looking at me, thinking people feel bad about me and all that stuff. Okay. But for the first time, and she told me this in like 2017, I want to say, but for the first time, I want to say last month, I was in downtown Detroit, and I had lunch by myself. Really? With a glass of wine. It was perfect.
It was good. I'd be thinking about doing that, but I'm like, that is so weird. Like, I'm talking to myself. Like, I'll just be there all by myself.
It was perfect. I basically wind down. I mean, I got on my phone, scrolled a little bit. And I guess it helps, because downtown is like working people, lunch. It's nothing abnormal, but it was abnormal for me, because I'm used to being around people. I don't want people to think I'm down or think I don't have any friends, quote unquote. But I just realized that's in my head. Nobody's necessarily thinking about that. Nobody even thinking about me. They eat their food too. And so when I just like, all right, Lauryn, you just gonna go down here and do it, I felt great. Really? I felt.
I should try it, because I'm gonna do it more often. Cause I be like wanting to go places, but then it's like when I don't have nobody to go. So then I'm just gonna not have fun because I don't have nobody to go with. Like,
yeah, it's self-care and it's slowing down, enjoying a meal by yourself, not talking. Yeah, I thought I wouldn't enjoy that because I don't like talking. I'm thinking when you go out for lunch, brunch, whatever type of time of outing it is, you have to engage with someone, but necessarily you don't. Yeah, you can engage with yourself.
I'm gonna try that. Yeah, I'm gonna try it and see how it goes. Yeah, but I feel like I gotta go in the daytime.
Yeah, it was daytime for me.
All right, so let's get into the last part of the show. Okay, let's do the self-love day.
I'm supposed to draw the cards.
Okay, we're gonna let Lauryn do it this time. Come on, Dad, you gotta treat our guests. All right, so. For those of you who don't know, at the end of every episode, me and my guests answer a question from the self-love deck. We just pull a random card and answer the question. So I'm going to shuffle it up a little bit, and Lauryn, I'm going to let you do the honors and pull the card. Now,
I only pull one?
Yeah, so I'm going to just give you a warning. Some of these questions be a little difficult. Okay. So if we get a question that we don't know how to answer, we're just going to go to another one. Okay. All right, so go ahead.
I got to pick on top?
Actually, you can pull whatever card you want. You can pull whatever you want.
Yeah. I don't know how to shuffle.
But no, we had a dope combo. We talked about.
I love this combo.
Yeah.
This is great, Brandy. I love it.
Yeah.
Alright,
Oh wait, we didn't talk about your fashion.
okay.
Let's rewind. Let's rewind. All right. So, well, one thing that I would say that I have noticed about you, and tell me if it's true. I feel like you've been more into like style and like fashion and everything. So has that been a part of your self-love journey?
Yeah, and I like you said, within the past year, especially with COVID, it increased.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just like the other side of me. It's like an alter ego type of thing. Like it could be times when, and like you said, like Laura, I don't need to be goofy. I don't need to be angry, which is true. A lot of people don't, but it can be days because I'm the only child. Naturally, I like to be quiet because I never had like a sibling, so I'm used to being quiet. Like I want to be quiet, but my outfit would be loud.
Right.
You know, not necessarily in colors, but like and how I match different pieces and how I layer different things. So it's a form of expression. I like the background of certain pieces and how it was made and where it was made.
Yeah.
And I just like fashion. You know, it's a part of our culture.
Yeah, that's dope. I like fashion too. I be trying to like. That's why I be on Instagram so much because I be like looking at people and how they dress and stuff. I just like I feel like I'm like a creative in a way because I just like making stuff and then like showing it to people and they be like, oh, you did that? Like, yes, I did that. Like, yes. Like,
That's me.
Yeah, I just like that feeling of like creating something and then seeing a final result and just be like, yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that feeling. So that's like I like interior design too because I get like that same type of feeling.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'll make up my house one day.
Yeah. That type of stuff. That's dope though. For sure. Lauryn, though, she's that girl because she was at when Balenciaga had a fashion show here in Detroit.
You mean Bottega?
Oh no, yeah, okay, Bottega. Lauryn was at the show and I was like, dang.
Yeah, that's
how was that?
It was fun.
It was. It looked like it.
It was lit.
I didn't even know it was here until like I seen it on social media. I'm like, dang, why I ain't get no invite? Like, Bottega, hello.
Yeah, I worked my behind off for that invite, and not to brag, but I'm no socialite. You know that, so I'm not like a big name in Detroit. I'm a regular girl. You know what I'm saying? And for me not to, you know, for me to have a name, I'm not gonna say it don't hold weight, but as in media and fashion terms, it doesn't hold weight. And for me to get in that show and bump shoulders with people who, you know, are in fashion or in the music industry or in acting was a big deal.
Like, wait, who was there? Like, did you see anybody? Like,
yeah, I was next to Mary J. Blige, Lil Kim, Sid, you know, she's a singer, Sid, SYD. Yeah, Sid was there. Excuse me, who else was there? What's that basketball player name? He played for Detroit.
The new one?
Kate Cunningham.
Oh, okay.
Kalani.
Kaylani was there?
Kalani
That's what's
was
up.
there. That model who has the Gap, who models for Rihanna.
Oh, I don't know her. Oh, it's like Wood or something?
Yeah, Wood, yeah. Something Wood.
She got the bald head.
Yeah, she was there. A lot of people were there. You know, networking with people.
Yeah.
So it was great for me to just have an opportunity to be a regular girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's something dope. I didn't even know that was on my bucket list until I did it. I'm like, okay, I checked that off.
Yeah.
And now I want to go to more fashion shows.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. I was in the fashion show in college.
Hey.
It was fun.
Was it that red?
Inspired.
Yeah, Inspired. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might audition for another one. It's like a Detroit-based fashion show that they do every year, and they have an audition. I might audition.
Yeah, you should.
We'll see.
Yeah, just go ahead. You know, what's the worst thing besides no?
Right.
You know,
exactly.
It's the word.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. I'll be turning you on.
Yes. All right. So now let's get into this question.
Okay.
So pull a card.
Okay. I already shuffled it. I just read out loud. If you could marry yourself today, what vows do you commit to keeping?
Ooh, that's a good question. First of all, I feel like I would definitely marry myself. Like, if I was a man, I would marry me.
Hey.
Like,
advocate for yourself.
I feel like, I don't know what's wrong with these dudes, like, but I would marry me. Like, I feel like I'm a kid. I'm just saying.
Yeah, as you should.
That's a good question though. If you could marry yourself today, what vows would you make? That's it. Like I never would have thought to ask myself that.
And this is me saying the vows to my partner?
No, to you. To
Oh,
yourself.
to me. That's a good question.
Hold on. You want to pause and think about it?
No.
Okay.
I want to feel authentic.
Okay.
So, and it's crazy because I'm still, to be transparent.
Okay. Yes, we love the transparency.
Dealing with the situation.
Okay.
So, to get a marry type of question that has the word marry in it is kind of like,
Blowing your mind right now.
Yeah.
It's
So, the vows I would say are, this may be a dumb question. How do vows usually go?
So a vow is basically like a promise or like a commitment that you're like making with whoever you're vowing to.
Okay.
I believe it's supposed to be between like you, that person, and God. I think that's like officially what a vow is. But it's basically like a promise. So
you mean like
married,
when people say, "I promise till death do us part"? That's a
yeah,
vow.
like so it's like vows that you can repeat. Like if you don't have vows made, then they'll say like, I, Lauryn, take you, blah blah blah, to be my lawfully wedded husband. I mean my lawfully wedded husband. I promise to whatever through sickness and health.
Okay.
That type of stuff.
Okay.
So it's like the promise that you're making with that person, in this case, with yourself. And I'm assuming they're saying like in relation to self-love.
Right. Number one, I promise to stay true to myself. And I feel like it's gonna get, and I mean, like, to be honest, I feel like it's gonna get harder as I get older.
Okay.
You know, like, parents getting older. Sickness is inevitable. Our challenges, our hurdles is inevitable. That's why you gotta be forever grateful. Because these people, they was here today, gone. They was here today, they're gonna be gone tomorrow. That's just the reality of it. I'm gonna face challenges. I mean, I'm healthy right now, but maybe next couple months or years, something may happen. And now, I'm not here trying to like dwell on bad luck. That's just life.
Just being realistic.
Yeah, I'm just being realistic, and that's just life. So, when I say staying true to myself, meaning like, whatever I go through or whatever I experience, keeping God in my spirituality and my faith in being a good person first. And at the end of the day, this fashion stuff don't matter. At the end of the day, this job stuff don't matter. At the end of the day, money don't matter. Like, what's gonna matter? And I believe in God, y'all, if y'all ain't noticed that. But like, at the end of the day, like when I, go to the other side, I'll be dictated on how I treated people. Like, people who still here gonna be like, she treated me good. And that's gonna keep my spirit alive. Yeah. That's gonna keep my name alive. And I feel like that's the bigger thing. Like, my thing is when I leave this earth, or just, not when I leave this earth and then daily, I won't leave an impact on people's lives. Like, dang, that girl, I can't remember her name, but I remember how she smiled at me. I can't even remember what she looked like, but I know what she did for me. People remember when you treat them good. Who don't want to be treated good? I feel like that's the number, like that's the number one thing with this whole life thing and being, a good person and feeling good about yourself. When you make others feel good, you feel good. Yeah, that's true. Haven't met one person that said when they did something for somebody else, thoughtfully or whatever, they didn't feel good about it. Yeah. You only feel not good about it if you know you weren't supposed to do it. But that's a different story. Yeah, but like,
or if you feel like you're being used.
Exactly. Them two things. But like, when it's genuine, you like, oh man, I gotta do that again. Yeah, it's like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's one of the things that's like, besides like you buy, like say for instance, you buying food or toys for kids or for people, but the act of doing good is like free. It's selfless. You know what I'm saying? So that costs nothing. That I can walk, I can talk. That doesn't affect me in any kind of way. And me being able to do that and impact somebody's life or move for the long run, I mean, I'm winning at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think Maya Angelou, she said people don't always remember like what you said for them or what you said to them, something like that. Yeah, but they remember how you made them feel.
Yeah. That was the last line.
Yeah, I know that was the last line. I don't know what came
right. Then there was a comma, then that last line. Okay,
so you vowed to stay committed to God and to treat people right.
Yeah. And that's being true to myself.
Yeah. Okay, that's dope. I
What
feel like
about you?
I would say something similar. I feel like I vowed to myself to always make the best effort to treat people right, and to be like a good person, like you said. I feel like that's definitely a big thing for me. And then I feel like I also vowed to myself to always be open to like self-criticism. Now, when I say self-criticism, I mean like always being open to people saying, if somebody said like, if you didn't handle that the right way, or you could have did this differently. So always be open to that and to give it a chance. Now, I'm not saying that everything people say I'm always gonna be like, okay, yeah, you're right. No, that's not the
Some
case.
people don't be having good intentions.
Yeah. But I feel like I vow, and I try to do this now, to always like hear people out in relation to like what they say to me, and to even challenge myself to be like, did you handle it in the best way possible? Yeah. So I feel like I vow to do that, and then I feel like what else do I vow to? I vow to always to try to be thankful, like we talked about earlier, for everything, like
even little things.
yeah, even the little things. And I try to do that now too, just being thankful for everything, like my health, my family, friends, same mind, you know, like physical ability, the experiences that I had. Like I got to go to college, I got to travel, I have good parents, you know, I went to good schools. I wasn't abused as a child. Everything hasn't gone the way, you know, in a perfect world that I would have, you know, drawn it out to go. But overall, like, I have a good life, you know what I'm saying? And I want to always be grateful for that. And just, yeah, always be grateful for that, for what I have. So I feel like those are the things that I vow to myself, to try my best to be a good person, to be open to, you know, criticism. And what was the last one I said? I always forget the last one.
You said.
I said something. Y'all just rewinded a couple seconds. Y'all
No, what you were saying, like, basically, like...
Oh, being grateful.
Yeah, because your life, it wasn't drawn out to how you would have drawn it, but you're grateful overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the things that I vow to. And, the last thing I want to vow to is enjoying life, like you talked about, like, not being so caught up in money, and letting money be, like, the thing that is just, like, the ultimate in life. Like, I don't ever want to be that type of person.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like money is, I look at money like, it's like air. Like, you really need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need money. Because everything has a cost. But I don't feel like it should be the end all be all. Or like a motivator. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like life and experiences and people should be valued over money.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's true, because, like, say for instance, you get that gold salary, or that gold stipend or whatever. When you get that, then you gonna sit down and be like, what's next? You gonna never feel content.
Yeah.
You always gonna be chasing the bigger bag. And it's like basically what this whole conversation was about. Being content. Having self-love for yourself, knowing like, okay, Lauren, I reached 80,000. That's not my rate, I don't even know that. But I just throwing numbers out there. I done reached 80,000. All right, I'm set right now. I can get my parole. Like, chill out. Like, you ain't gotta be so caught up in the next thing, cause then when you chasing a bigger bag, you never gonna sit down and be thankful for the bag you just got 6 months ago.
Right. And when you think about it, we get money to do what with it?
Spend it.
But spend it on what?
Things we like, right? You quizzing me.
No. But it's like we get money we spend it. We get money to spend it on events, to spend it on experiences,
spend it on clothes,
spend it on clothes, or spend it
accessories.
Yeah, like you getting money, but the ultimate thing that you want the money for is to enjoy your life.
Exactly.
So it's like, don't get caught up in the money, because the money is just a tool to do what you really want to do, which is, you know, to eat right, to enjoy, go travel, or spend time, you know, have an extravagant birthday party. That's the ultimate thing that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
The money is just a way to do that.
Exactly.
But ultimately, you really want to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
So just enjoy your life.
Exactly.
You know,
you doing that period by living.
Yeah.
Like you said that.
Yeah. Like sometimes
we put a tag on it.
Yeah.
Put a tag on it.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll be thinking like, I'm going to work and I'll be like, what am I going to work for? Like, I really ain't got no bills like that. Like, you know, I stay at home with my parents, you know. But eventually, you know, I stay at home because I want to.
Yeah.
First of all, let's not get it confused, okay? It's not like,
right.
It's not like I'm broke or nothing
choice.
like that. But it's by choice because I just feel like it's not the time for that yet. But anyway, sometimes I be thinking like, why am I'm working, I'm getting money, but like, I'm not really spending it. So it's like, what am I doing this for? Like, then that just made me realize like, well, what I really want to spend my money on is life experiences, like going out to eat, food, dancing, like those things that seem like so small, food, dancing, people, traveling, being outside, are like, when you think about your life, like those are the things that you think about,
Yeah,
you know?
it is. No, that's real.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's food for thought. That's just something that I think about. But yeah, I feel like we had a really great discussion.
This was fantastic for me.
Yes.
That's a new experience. This was great. This is a great way to end the work week.
Yeah,
so
for
you.
Sure. And then
I'm
like
glad I text you.
Yeah.
This would never even happen. Look, y'all, she would not even have me.
No, we was planning it for sure. But no, I want you to come back, like as you continue on your self-love journey, and we can hear more about your progress that you made, and you know just how you've been navigating your self-love journey. I feel like that would be dope too.
Yeah.
You know.
A follow up on Lauryn Allen.
Yeah. Oh, she done put the whole government. I ain't put her whole.
I ain't put my. Yeah, we gonna cut that out.
We'll cut it out. But thank you for sitting down and talking with me, Lauryn. This was a really great talk. We talked about so many topics: health, relationships, finding your passions, self-love 101s, how to start a self-love journey. Yeah, vows to yourself. All of that stuff is like really good. All right, well, this wraps up another episode of our self-love story. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode.
Follow me for any questions.
Oh yeah, where can people like connect with you?
Instagram is 2_ Lauryn.
Lauryn like Lauryn Hill.
Yeah. And then period Sydney, SYDNEY. That may be wrong because like I just said, I don't really be on Instagram like that. So Randy is gonna.
Yeah, we'll tag you.
Yeah, we'll tag you.
Okay, sure. All right, well, thanks y'all for tuning in, and thanks Lauren for being a guest, and I'll catch y'all next week. Peace. That was so good. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Our Self-Love Story. I hope this content helps you as you embark on your own self-love journey. Please rate and review the show and join the OSLS community conversation on YouTube today. Your post could be our next conversation starter. Stay tuned for next week's episode coming Saturday at 1 p.m.